Thanks, Jack. Singer, songwriter, guitarist Chris Isaak is appearing tonight at Radio City Music Hall. His musical style has been compared to country singer Roy Orbison and Elvis Presley. His new album is called simply Chris Isaak, and now let's listen to Blue Hotel from that album. Welcome to Live at 5, Chris Isaak.
Hi, nice to be here. Catchy tune.
You think you've heard it before, right?
Yeah, a few times.
You say that video was pretty cheap to make as compared to what most people spend?
We spent on that video what most people spend on like bagels and donuts for the crew.
15,000 bucks?
Yeah.
You have as your heroes Roy Orbison and Elvis.
We give people gum on the set. Chew, it's filling. You know?
It's sort of like the 50s and 60s,
Yeah.
which that music is like. You have as your heroes Roy Orbison and Elvis Presley. I don't know how much your music is modeled after them, but you met Roy Orbison not very long ago. Must have been fun.
I like the word, just to say, I like the word modeled instead of ripped off, and I'm going to start using that, modeled after Roy Orbison. I met him I met Roy Orbison, and he came to one of our gigs in Los Angeles, and I kept looking at my bass player, Rolly Sally, was standing there, and he kept looking at me and giving me this look like something was wrong. I checked my fly, and I looked over at Jimmy and thought, is my guitar plugged in? And towards the end of the set, he kept like kind of pointing in between songs, and finally I looked out and I saw this guy who looked, the dark glasses, and like sitting there looking up at us, and I thought, is that Roy Orbison? So from then on, every high note was like hell to hit, because I thought, Roy Orbison is sitting right there watching me.
Sure, it's hard when you've met a real-life hero, and to actually play music, you've emulated him, and to play your music in front of him had to be pretty tough.
It was kind of tough, but it was, I ran out right afterwards, and I have pictures of Roy Orbison and myself together, so if anybody doesn't believe it, I have pictures to prove it.
You turned down a couple of movie roles recently. Now for an aspiring singer and star and all that sort of thing, and for a man who's 29 years old. Yeah, why'd you do it?
For a guy who's broke, why would you turn down easy money? Because I was making the record at the time. I was in recording, and I had to do that first. And then I was going to Europe. They were doing Blue Velvet, and I was going to Europe, and they did Something Wild, and I was recording during that. But now they have another part for a film, so I maybe get some work this year. And this time I'm not playing a rapist or a wife beater or anything.
So what is it?
I think I just shoot somebody, as far as I know so far. You could admire a guy if he just, a simple murder is not that bad. I mean, it's a step up for me.
You have a fairly interesting background for getting into all this. I understand that you went to college in Japan, or at least were there for a year or so. You were into boxing, and here you are, a country rock star.
Yeah.
How does it all fit
Lady
together?
in Makeup, she kind of covered that, but I've got a nice, can you see this line here on one side? They always cover that up in makeup, but this is after they straighten it out from boxing. From boxing to music is pretty much easier, music's a lot easier.
I'm sure it is.
If the crowd doesn't like you, they boo, but they don't...
Or throw tomatoes, something like that.
They don't get up and go for the strong right cross or something,
But what about the schooling in Japan? Did that go along with the boxing, or was that something else that...
Well, I was studying, I was boxing for Aoyama Gakuen in Tokyo. Can you say Aoyama Gakuen?
Absolutely not.
See, if you could say it, you graduate. But I was boxing on their boxing team, and then after a lot of boxing and a lot of schooling, I kind of realized that my schooling was not, I wasn't going to class much, is what I'm trying to say. I spent more time in the boxing ring, so really the schooling didn't affect me.
And so the schooling didn't, give me a break.
Didn't rub off. I graduated, though.
You are from Stockton, California, which I understand is called affectionately the asparagus capital of the world. You come from a fairly...
They call it a fat city.
No, really, they
call it... No, Fat City is based on... You saw the movie Fat City. Well, that movie was my boxing coach, Frank DeBalas in Stockton, was a coach to the guy who wrote that. And I asked him, I said, Frank, how was this guy? Was he a good fighter? Nah, he was a lousy fighter. He was always writing stuff.
At any rate, though, being a California boy, you get into country rocker. I read someplace that you live for your music, your mom, your girlfriend, and your surfing, which all sounds fairly simple. Is that true?
My girlfriend? I never said that.
No. Oh.
Maybe my mom my music are pretty important. Surfing, I don't know. I don't think I said that either.
Yeah, so that part isn't true. You still go out and have your you go back to Stockton and have your mother cut your hair?
Yeah, it's getting a little bit long now, but I had her cut it real short before I went out on tour. So I had, like, you know, I could coast for a couple of weeks. And they have this guy on the Thompson Twins tour, Kelly, who cuts hair for everybody. And I'm thinking about having him cut my hair, but he does some wild stuff with people's hair. Now, maybe they want it that way, but I don't know. I'm apprehensive.
What's next after you do this movie? You're working on the country rock. You got a lot of things going on, but what would be the ultimate for you? Where do you really want to take all this?
Well, I'd like to make a whole bunch of money and then split. Maybe go down to Mexico. I'm serious.
I think that's everybody's goal.
I was thinking about an Airstream, one of those aluminum Airstream things. They could last forever. You can sit them by the beach. I sit down in Mexico with my guitar and write music and surf. I could do that for 8 or 9 years easy.
Chris Isaak, thank you very much. He's the opening act for the Thompson Twins.
Yes.
Radio City Music Hall tonight. Good luck.
Thanks
for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sure we'll see you again. Jack?
Thanks, Jane.